माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा यथा गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि को देवों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद द्रव्यंग से भक्त वेदांत सांसकोपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद द्रव्यंग श्री भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय आनंद गुण वैष्णव की जय नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त बंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभुवन श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनमय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga, Shri Gopal Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaye Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhanam Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharan Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pachancha Destaran. Thank you all for joining. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. Opulence of the Absolute, last verses from verse number 40, 41, 42. 3 verses we'll be discussing today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityanam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, chapter 10, verse number 40. नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तु उद्देशतः प्रोक्तो विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तु उद्देशतः प्रोक्तो विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तु उद्देशतः प्रोक्तो विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया न anta a limit asti there is mama my divyanam of the divine vibhutinam of the opulences parantapa O conqueror of the enemies esha all this too but uddeshata as examples prokta spoken vibhute of the opulences vistara the expanse maya by me. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Gopal Ki Jai. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Please repeat. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Verse number 41. यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् एव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजांशसम्भवम् यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् एव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजांशसम्भवम् यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् एव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजांशसम्भवम् यद्यत् whatever vibhuti opulences mat having sattvam existence srimat beautiful urjitam glorious. The srimat is used if you pay attention closely. We are chanting premadhvani jevam vishnupada paramahams paravirajikachar ashtottara. So the Srimat, that Srimat means beautiful. This is applied. This is used in the service of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, also is pure devotee represented. Urjitam, glorious, eva, certainly, va, are, tat, tat, all those, eva, certainly, avagacha, must know, tvam, you, mama, my, teja of the splendor, amsa, a part, sambhavam, born of. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So, what is that spark? We'll come to that. So, please repeat. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So, that's everything we have to understand and hear. Tattva must be understood. So, verse number 42. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टाभ्यामहम् इदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्. This is also famous verse. Many places Chaitanya Charitamrita also this verse is used. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टाभ्यामहम् इदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टव्याहम् इदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्. अथवा or bahuna many, etena by this kind, kim what, gnatena by knowing, tava your, Arjuna, O Arjuna, vistabhya pervading, aham I, idam this, Krishnam entire, eka by one, amsena part, stitaha am situated, jagat universe. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jai. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. I repeat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So that is the last verse of this chapter. So earlier I was telling, we'll offer prayers and we'll understand. I was telling about Srimat means beautiful. That is applied to the pure devotee as part of the Prema Dhvani. So I was telling we need to understand everything from the acharyas, from devotees. There are various dhvanis, Prema Dhvani, Ullu Dhvani, Hari Dhvani, Jaya Dhvani, Vaishnava Dhvani, like that. Prema Dhvani means when we offer obeisance at the end of Kirtan, at the end of class, that is called Prema Dhvani. Hari Dhvani means chanting Hari Hari, chanting the holy name of the Hari Dhvani. Then Ullu Dhvani means Mataji's use their this mouth to make the sound when the Vaishnavas, pure devotee of the Lord spiritual master going, or the Supreme Lord is taken out on the parikrama, or taken out on a procession, or the curtain opens, and all these times, this is auspicious sounds, Ullu Dhvani. So Jay Dhvani means Jai Jai. And when we open the altar curtains, Pujari knocks the door, then chant Jai Jai Sri Radha Syam Sundar, like that, the deity's name. So all these are various sounds, but these are all transcendental, nothing material. So there's a Prema Dhvani, Ullu Dhvani, Jaya Dhvani, Hari Dhvani. So we have to understand in this ways why we do what we do. If not, then it becomes so just mechanical. It doesn't really help us to understand progress if we don't understand what we are doing. So yeah, let's offer our obeisances, then we'll come to this verses. Om Jnanativrandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chukshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Devatam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So, Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada Vijaya Sri Prabhupada Vijaya Gaur Bhaktam Vijaya. We raise these hands because we are in a helpless condition. We are trying to get the mercy of the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sriman Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Radha and Krishna, by calling out in a helpless mood as Draupadi had raised two hands. With one hand, Lord didn't appear, and two hands, then Lord for sure he protected. So that's why we raise the hand. So like that, everything we should know why we do things. Now, in today's verses, very important verses, Lord is giving that. So how much I can explain? It is only one spark. Na anto asti. There is no end. Even as myself, I cannot know my glories. Lord Anantadev itself, na anto asti mama divyanam vibhuti nam parantapa. Various ways these opulences are explained. Vibhuti means opulences, but in this context, Lord Krishna is stressing that the whole chapter, this 10th chapter, why Lord Krishna is giving after 9th chapter most confidential knowledge. Because you may think, people may have doubt, Arjuna may have doubt that worshipping Lord Krishna can be done through demigods. But that is not, no, that is not the right, that is not the right consciousness. One must worship the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Because they are, that's why here the vibhutas are explained. These vibhutis are one part. Mama Tejamsa Sambhavam, one spark of my splendor. It is just one small teeny portion. What is that small teeny portion with which he is able to do everything, is pervade everywhere, is holding on? That is Paramatma. Paramatma feature. By his Paramatma feature, all the demigods are also giving various benediction to living entities. They are not independent. Only Paramatma has to sanction it, even for demigod to give any benediction to anybody. They don't have independence. So that is again Paramatma. So that's why these are all opulences of Paramatma. They are not even the Supreme Personality of Godhead yet. It is his expansion after expansion is Paramatma. That Paramatma is only there in the material world to give us intelligence. To give us intelligence, is there as a Paramatma in each and everybody's heart, including demigods. Only in the material world. In spiritual world, you don't need it because directly Lord is there face to face. Why do you need Paramatma? So it is an obstruction to actual personal loving exchange and loving mellows of devotion. So that's why there is no need of Paramatma in the spiritual world. There is only, that's why Krishna is here explaining. Nanto, there is no end. Asti mama divyanam vibhuti nam param tapa. O conqueror of enemies. So you must conquer all unwanted desires. You have conquered enemies. So these enemies, also these lower things, you have to conquer and come to the highest. You have to come to that highest purpose, highest essence, the pure devotion service. Lord Krishna has many opulences. In terms of the Srimad Bhagavatam is also in one place, it is called as an opulence. His abodes also. This material world is nothing. And this one, that's why here it is mentioned one splendor, one portion, teeny portion pervade. But the spiritual world also, there are so many opulences within so many planets. Golok Vrindavan is the topmost one. That is also considered as opulence. But that is also a manifestation of Lord Balaram. So we are not even to come to Lord Krishna and understand his opulence. It's inconceivable. Lord himself cannot even understand how much is there, how many is there. And it's very difficult to understand. So, but in this context, specifically, in verse number 40 and 41, 42, all three are related to the same. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestation. What I have spoken to you is but mere indication of my infinite opulences. Then 41 is telling the more or less same thing, that yadyad vibhuti mat sattvam srimat urjitam eva tatta devavagachatvam mama tejamsa sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, glorious creations, whatever you see in terms of the different animals or in different birds or human beings, demigods, in each and every species, these are all because of super soul. Because of Paramatma only, everyone is doing their activity, everyone is existing, everyone is maintaining, everyone is actually living. Otherwise, they cannot even live. Minute Paramatma Paramatma removes his energy from this world, then nothing can move, nothing can exist, nothing can stay. So that's why it is all because of Paramatma is there. That's why as soon as super soul goes away from the soul, that means soul also goes away. Strength is coming from super soul. Soul doesn't have its strength by itself. Super soul has to give. Whether you theist or atheist, even if you don't believe in God, also Lord is still giving because it's because of out of causeless affection. Because still we are sons and daughters of the Lord, sons and daughters of the God. So that's why he's still affectionate, even though we are kicking him. I don't want you, but still Lord is giving. As a mother also, generally, father may reject, but mother is still affectionate, even if son daughter rejects. Mother is still till last minute, still she has hope someday they will realize. Still, she will try to feed, try to serve, try to be affectionate. That is the compassionate nature of the mother. And you can understand the quality or compassionate nature of the Supreme Mother, who is Mata Data Pita Jagat Pavitra Munkar. In chapter 10 itself, Krishna, or 9, Krishna is telling that I am the Supreme Mother, Supreme Father. So that's why he's giving. So everything to the conditioned souls or even the others, animals, living entities. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टाभ्याहम इदं कृष्णम एकांशेन स्थितो जगत. So by what need is there, Arjuna, of all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade, support this entire universe. Now let us understand the Lord Krishna's appearance, because that is also an opulence. We can understand his glory and his opulence by hearing about his Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So in the material world creation, let's look at our Acharya Brahma. Brahma is our main Acharya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Lord Brahma, how did he create? Lord Brahma himself, there is also an opulence. How did he create? He received a Gayatri mantra from Lord Krishna's flute song in the heart. Tene Brahma Udaya Adi Kavai. That's how he created. So it is Acharya has explained that in Gopal Tapana Upanishad, in other places, Acharya has explained that Lord Brahma, through this mantra, he has received the 18 syllable mantra. I cannot pronounce it because only the Brahmin initiated supposed to hear it, so I will not pronounce the mantra. But to give that opulence of the 18 syllable mantra, Lord Brahma was revealed, and in the 18th syllable, the first letter is given by which he was able to receive the energy to create, produce water, earth, fire, moon, and combination of that whole word. By those four letters, water, earth, fire, moon was produced, and then the combination, the whole word produced sun. This is from the first 18 syllable mantra, the first word. This was produced when Lord Brahma received. And the next letter, next word produced ether. And then the next word produced of that mantra, 18 syllable mantra, is air was produced. And then the next word of that mantra produced 14 types of knowledge and Surabhi cow. And the next last word of that mantra, the 18 syllable mantra, he produced all the living entities, moving and non-moving, man, woman, and all others, animals and birds and reptiles and all other living. In this way, by these 18 syllable mantra, by Lord Krishna's empowered Lord Brahma to create. Unless he gives the strength and energy, and this is also opulent, then only Brahma could do. That's why the demigod doesn't have power. So that's why the 10th chapter is describing that one must worship the Supreme Lord through pure devotion service. Gradually, one must come from Karma Mishra Bhakti to Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, and come to pure devotion service. No other mixture. Offer everything to the service of the Guru and Krishna without any other motives. Simply to only to please him for loving exchanges. We will see that further in this Jhulan Yatra. Why Lord Krishna has to perform all these various festivals. So Ekadasi or Jhulan Yatra or what is the Chandan Yatra, all these are various yatra. So to actually to revive, we'll come to that. Let's understand further. So these are the various opulences. This is also one type of opulence. Another opulence in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when these verses, exact verses are quoted, there also it is explained that The vibhutis of the Lord are categorized into primary and secondary. So the primary are, that means these are empowered incarnations. The primary are his own expansions. So they are primary. And the secondary are like these demigods. When primarily fully empowered, Lord Krishna's his own from Swamsa means he's not he may be Jiva, but he is fully empowered directly. Directly. Then he is called primary Vibhuti. Primary, just like Ananta. Ananta is holding all these universes. Andantarastu Pramana Chayantarastam. He is there in each and every atom. Super soul, Paramatma. But still he says that I cannot, it is endless, I cannot even count my opulences. And Lord Anantadev is one of the Siktyavis avatar. So that is also an opulence, primary vibhuti. So same way Sesha in the spiritual world is expanding into everything. Is helping Lord Balaram. He is also primary vibhuti. This is not very small. I am telling you, we didn't even come to Lord Krishna's opulence. Because to understand Krishna's opulence, we have to understand his small portions and then come to his Lord Narayan's explanation, then come to Lord Ramchandra, then you can come to Lord Krishna and understand. It's endless, but we'll try to understand based on the Acharya's mercy. So that is also one of the opulence, primary vibhutis. And the secondary vibhutis are like the demigods, the Narada Muni, the Parasuram, Lord Buddha, all these are Siktyavesh avatar. These are Jiva Tattvas, but they are secondary. They are also empowered. Some are directly, some are indirectly empowered. When they are called indirectly empowered, then they are like the demigods, especially are indirectly empowered. So Indra, Chandra, Varuna, all these 33 million demigods, they are Lord Brahma is in the primary case. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, and I think Pruth Maharaj, Ananta, Sesha, they're all in the primary category. But rest of them all, that's why when any problem comes, demigods all go directly? No, they can't go directly. They first have to go to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma takes all of them to Kshetrasagar ocean, then they chant Purusha prayers to Paramatma Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu is there in Milky Ocean within this material world. In multiple places it is mentioned where Paramatma is there, where the like a Vaikuntha planet. Dhruva planet is also like Vaikuntha. Where Lord Vishnu is a Kshirodaka Ocean, that is also Vaikuntha. Where Lord is there in Patal, it is also Vaikuntha. Where next to Bali Maharaj is standing at the door, that is also Vaikuntha. Where Lord Anantadev is there, that is also at the bottom of the, that is also like Vaikuntha. So in few places it is mentioned like all these are so Vaikuntha. So Lord Anantadev, all these are primary vibhutis, but the secondary vibhutis are indirectly. So these except Lord Brahma, all other demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva is in the primary category, but all others are secondary category. They are indirectly empowered. They cannot approach directly. They may offer prayers, but Lord may not be reciprocating directly. It comes through again Lord Brahma through Narada Muni. Many times it is through Narada Muni is exchanging. So is appearing before them, or Lord Brahma is appearing, or Lord Shiva is appearing. In general, the cases they have no direct power in general. Directly, they are not exchanging, or they are taking Surabhi cow like Indra is taking. So like that. So they are indirect. So the primary and secondary. Still, these are small portions of Lord's opulences. In this way, we can understand now the Lord's actual appearance. Lord's appearance. Why did Lord appear? In various places, Lord is explaining, especially Kavi Karnapur is explaining, and we will come to the Kunti Maharani's explanation. The internal, why the Lord Krishna is appearing, the internal desire and the external desire. The Lord Krishna is appearing for two reasons, internal reasons. One is to actually to give great pleasure to Nanda and Yashoda. Nanda and Yashoda, to give pleasure, Lord Krishna is appearing simultaneously. To more than giving pleasure to Devaki and Vasudev, more so to Ananda and Yashoda. They are more glorious, especially the childhood pastimes, nowhere else. That's why Lord Krishna personally himself is telling in many of the pastimes, many of the transcendental books, that he loves his pastimes as a cowherd boy. Cowherd boy. That is his most enchanted form as a cowherd boy. So later pastime, but that's what is mentioned in many places. So So here, Kavi Karnapur is explaining the internal reason why Lord is appearing is one of the reason is uh, for to give relishment, to give pleasure to Nanda and Yashoda. Second reason is to actually give also be in relish his own pleasure and pastimes, uh, mellows, especially to perform Madhurya Ras, especially Parakiya Ras, not Swakiya Ras, because in spiritual world Swakiya Ras is there, but Parakiya Ras, Lord is performing Parakiya Ras with others' wives, seemingly others' wives, because everybody belongs to Krishna. All living entities are his own. Sons and daughters are his expansions. He has created for what purpose? To exchange rasa. Exchange rasa. Different rasa, different mellows. Different rasa, different mellows are there. Santaras, Dasiras, Sakyaras, Vatsalras, Madhuraras. In Madhuraras also there is Swakya and Parakya. Means his own wife is Swakya. Parakya means not his wife but others. Parakya. Lord can perform. It is not for ordinary people. It is not for us conditioned souls. It is not even for demigod. It is only for Supreme Lord. He can perform. But that also only who can do? Not Lord Narayan. Lord Narayan only Lakshmi. Maybe thousands of Lakshmi, but still it is only Lakshmis. No Parakiras in here. Even Lord Ramachandra. So that's when Parakiras, who and all became gopis, when Lord Krishna appeared, who and all appeared. Some of them appeared before, especially Nanda and Yashoda, elderly. They appeared before Lord Krishna. And some of the gopis appeared after Krishna. So not only the gopis, not only Giriraj Govardhan, not only Tulsi Maharaj, not only Purnamasi, but also appeared along with them are the Shruti personified, means Vedas personified, the four Vedas, and its all its Puranas, Samhitas, they're all personified, they're all personalities. They appeared to be part of, they also performed Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti and they attained, they have come to that level of gopis, they attained. Not only that, but also the Dandakaranya sages, when Lord Ramachandra was performing pastime, they were so much attracted. They want to also enter into that conjugal pastime. But Lord Ramachandra said, I am Ekapatni Vrata. But you will be able to get to it in the next pastimes, in the next incarnation, which is Lord Krishna. So that's why they also attained, they became gopis also. They are Municharis. Sruticharis are Sruti personified and Dandakaranya sages. They also appeared to be part of the gopis. They also became gopis to release this Parakiya Ras, not Swakiya Ras, but Parakiya Ras, because Lord Krishna married 16,108. So 16,000 as per 16,100 in Dwaraka, the queens. But all others are seemingly unmarried, directly not married, and not Swakiya, but Parakiyaras. So that the Lord has appeared to taste, relish this Parakiyaras. So Lord appeared in the Bhadra month on the Ashtami day on Rohini Nakshatra in the conjunction of the stars known as Ayushman Nakshatra. Ayushman star, like the Abhijit in many incarnations, but the Lord Krishna that is mentioned as Ayushman, the Muhurta, and Rohini Nakshatra, and then Ashtami Tithi, and then Bhadra month. So that is when Lord Krishna appeared. To really, these are the two internal reasons. Now we'll see that external reason is to actually to remove the burden of the earth. Earth was feeling overburdened by the unwanted population and so much atrocities by various demons. So that is the external reason. But there are various other reasons which Kunti Maharani is giving various indications. Why did Lord appear? Lord appeared that some say that unborn is born for the glorification of the pious kings. Who are the pious kings? Especially Yudhishthir Maharaj. Many others, but mainly Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yadus are there, but more than Yadus is even Yudhishthir Maharaj. And others say that he is born to please King Yadu. He is also mentioned in the pious kings, mainly Yudhishthir Maharaj. One of your dearest devotees, you appear in his family as sandalwood appears in Malaya hills. That is one of the reasons. Kechid ahur ajam jatam punya slokasya kittaye yedo priyasya anvavaye malayasya chandana. Although he is appearing in the is appearing in Edu dynasty, but he is also giving, he wants to give pleasure to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Pandavas are so much attached to the service of Krishna. So, another reason is why did it appear? Because Devaki and Vasudeva performed severe austerities, Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti, in the previous life as Sotapa and Prusni. In the past life, their names are Sotapa and Prusni. So that's why he appeared. Kunti Maharani. Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. That is the second reason. Apare Vasudevasya Devakyam Yachito Abhiga Ajastvam Asya Kshemaya Vadaya Cha Surat Visham. Then next reason Kunti Maharani gives that others say that the world being overburdened like the boat at the sea is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you. So you have appeared to diminish the trouble. This is Mother Earth approaches Lord Brahma along with the demigods that overburdened. So then Lord Brahma prays along with the demigod to Lord Vishnu, the Paramatma, Chirodasai Vishnu. Then he said, all right, Lord Krishna himself directly will appear this time. And then you all also take these positions, appear in these places. So all the whole plan of action was given to Lord Brahma and he communicated to all the demigods. So that is another reason, third reason here Kunti Maharani is giving. बारावतारणा अन्ये भुवो नाव इवो ददौ सिदन्त्य बुरी बारेण जातो हि आत्मा भुवार्तितः. Now these last two reasons are very important reasons. Yet others say that Lord appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotion service of hearing, remembering, and worshipping. These two applies to even Jhulan Yatra, Chandan Yatra, all these various festivals while Lord is performing. Lord wants to give that bliss and experience, that loving exchanges, that mellows, the sweet, the attraction, the attachment, the spiritual attachment, increase the bliss and permanent happiness. He wants to also give it to all the living entities. That's why he performs the Radha Yatra, so or Chandan Yatra, Jhulan Yatra, various yatras. That is the main purpose. He wants to share his happiness and opulence and bring us back to spiritual world. So that is the reason. So that's why here these 35 and 36 are the main key reasons why Lord appears so much as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Especially more so than because he cannot finish. When he is appearing, he is only there for a short time and he has to perform so many wonderful pastimes. But he cannot preach to each and every person. He cannot induce. He could only induce Arjuna directly. But he could indirectly was speaking to everybody, but he's not directly talking, communicating, seeing what's happening, checking, correcting. This who does? Lord's representative does. So that's why more than the Lord, it's the sadhu, his representative carries his Lord's mission. Lord leaves that mission to, like Srila Prabhupada said. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have finished it, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur could have finished it, but they left it for me to do something. So that is it is sadhu's job to actually take the burden, to not the burden, actually to relishment, great relishment. He's getting great bliss in taking the task and responsibility of the Lord on his head. As a great, he's relishing greatly. Is a great service. Is feeling very grateful or indebted to the Supreme Lord and spiritual master and carrying out that mission till his last breath. So that is 35, 36. These two reasons are prominent. Yet others say that he appeared for the sake of rejuvenating devotion service of hearing, remembering, and worshipping. Important verses 1, 8, 35, 36. भवेस्मिन् क्लिश्यमानानाम् अविद्या कामकर्मभिः श्रवणा स्मरणार्थानि करिष्यन्निति केचन. Why did Lord appear? Bhavesmin Klishyamananam, especially to remove this conditioned soul suffering, greatly suffering from material pangs, so that they can actually attain liberation and attain actually Krishna Prema. Avidya, because of ignorance. Why they are suffering? Because of ignorance. Avidya kama karma vihi. They are performing unwanted activities because of ignorance. So then how they can come out? By actually inducing them in sravana, in hearing, and smarana, in remembering. Once one hears regularly, then he will be able to remember Krishna. If he doesn't hear about Krishna, he cannot remember Krishna. However we may try, we cannot do it. So that's why hearing is very important. Then only other things can work. Here itself in this verse purport also Prabhupada is mentioning. Sravana, Smarana, and remembering, and then Arahana. Arahana means worshipping. That means direct and indirect. Those who are pujari, directly worshipping Lord. Those who are indirect, they can come to the temple and see the Lord, see the arati, dance in front of the Lord, take prasad. All these are also worshipping, especially seeing the Lord, seeing the arati. All these are the worshipping, indirect worship. We are also worshipping. Those are not, it doesn't mean we have to be puja, we have to be on the altar. No, they are also getting mercy. How absorbed we are depends on that, but still they are getting some mercy. So, Sravana Smarana Arahani Karishyan iti Kechana. That's why Lord appeared for this purpose. And then further, what will happen? You have a question, why should I hear? Why should I remember? And then he is further stressing that how one should hear, he is stressing the further reason. Kunti Maharaj. Lord appeared, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, Sranvanti Gayanti, Smaran Grunanti Abhikshanasaha, Smaranti Nandanti Tavehitam Jana, Tayeva Pasyanti Acharena Tavakam, Bhava Pravaha Paramam Padam Bhojam. So in this verse, Krishna is stressing, Kunti Maharani is stressing, Sukadeva Goswami is stressing, Sranvanti, one must continuously hear, right? Abhikshanasaha. So Sranvanti means here, but how continuously, regularly, daily. And chanting, Gayanti, chant, and Grananti. Grananti means one must take it to the heart. Take it to the heart. Not mechanically, चलेगा कुछ सुनेंगे ना कुछ सुनेंगे. No, we really want to hear because we want to understand actually how Krishna looks like. What does he look like? That's why before actually Srila Prabhupada, before the great Vaishnava Acharyas appeared, people don't know. They only know God exists and uh, he loves everybody, or very, theoretically, not much practically, where he lives, how he looks like, what is his activities. All these details were not there, not given, not known to people. But through Srimad Bhagavatam, through Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, Sri Prabhupada and other Vaishnava Acharyas given enormous details, especially Sri Prabhupada and Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, opened up like full of ocean of bliss, the ocean of knowledge. Everything was open. So, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure. That's why it is mentioned. Abhikshana smaranti nandanti. Remember, nandanti means take great pleasure. So, with love, all these things has to be done with love. That is the constant. That is the important key point. Smaranti nandanti tave hitam jana. And take pleasure. Not only we, but if somebody else doing, take great pleasure in doing so. Encourage them, inspire them, help them, assist them. Don't pull them down, but rather assist them, encourage them, inspire them, support them. So then what will happen? Tayeva pasyanti achirena tavakam. They will certainly confirm 100%. Guaranteed is given. Certainly see your lotus feet. When the person does these things, then certainly they will be guaranteed very quickly, not long time. Achirena. Tayeva pasyanti achirena tavakam. Bhava Pravaha Uparamam. Uparamam means no more birth, death, old age. Bhava Pravaha means birth, death, old age, disease. These four things keep on going repeatedly. But Uparamam means stop, cessation. No more birth, death, old age, disease. We'll attain the spiritual body and will permanently be with Krishna and exchange rasas. Bhava Pravaha Uparam Padam Bhojam. We attain the shelter lotus feet of Guru and Krishna in the spiritual world. So that's what will happen. So that's why there in the purport Prabhupada is stressing. People may hear, people may see the Lord, but they are not paying attention to hearing. So that's why they cannot see Krishna. They are proposing. Therefore, even though the Lord may be present before our eyes, like he is also present before Dhritarashtra, before Duryodhana, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, everybody is seeing. But is everybody seeing? No. Why? Here it is mentioned. It is not possible to see him unless we have a necessary vision. This necessary qualification is developed by the process of devotion service only, especially hearing. Hearing about the Lord from the right person. Sometimes it is experienced that the performance of devotion service does not see the Lord face to face. The reason is that the first item, Sravana, is very important. If hearing is from the right sources, it acts very quickly. Generally, people hear from unauthorized persons. That is there. First of all, hearing also, anybody speaking Krishna, you can know, you cannot hear. There may be so many people speaking about Krishna or Vishnu or Bhakti, but if they themselves are not following the Acharya Parampara in their life, then what they are going to transform themselves and what they will transform others? They cannot. So that's why we have to see what is their achar, what they are representing, who they are following, who they are attached to. Then accordingly, then we can hear from those persons, not anybody and everybody. So that's why everything depends on hearing only. By the hearing, we can see Lord Krishna very quickly, face to face. It is possible. It is not impossible. It is available to everybody. It is not only for great sadhus, severe austerity persons only. No, it is available to everybody. Only thing we have to do is follow, hearing, chanting with absorption. Then this is available. These are the various reasons. Now we'll see that Lord Krishna's beautiful descriptions about. Let's come to the Jhulan Yatra first. This is the most enchanting pastime. Pay attention here with rapt attention. Very sweet so that we can understand. Let me go a little bit faster. There's important, a lot of details are there. The whole context where Radha and Krishna are residing, where the Jhulan Yatra is performed, how much decoration, what they're decorating with what mood, what consciousness, all those were all they present. All these details, who is giving? Oh, I have to first glorify the author. Otherwise, if the author is not merciful, then we can't even understand. This is written by Kavi Karnapur in Ananda Vrindavan Champu. Who is Kavi Karnapur? See the mercy. In order to receive the mercy, this is what we have to do. Kavi Karnapur is a son of Sivananda Sen. What did Sivananda Sen do? Sivananda Sen, all his life, he was working, but all his life he is maintaining devotees. From Gaudadesh, from Bengal to Mayapur, devotees going, is always going, maintaining all of them, giving money, taking the prasadam, everything. He is taking care pretty much all of them, all the devotees. To Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking them, is maintaining, giving the houses, guest houses, maintaining them, whatever they need, everything is arranging. So no one needs to pay a single penny. Everything Sivananda Sen is to maintain. So Lord has fully, especially Lord Nityananda was fully merciful. So much mercy has received that Lord personally bestowed full mercy to his whole family. So Sivananda Sen had 3 sons. Lord told also, especially third, who's Karnapur, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put his toe, his feet's toe in his mouth. When he was small, before he was born itself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. So the son who is going to be born, name him Puridas. Paramananda Das, his name was, there is a, first son is Chaitanya Das, second one is Ramadas, third one is Paramananda Das, is also called Puridas, is also called Kavi Karnapur, 3 names. The first two, Chaitanya Das and Ramadas, sons of Sivananda Sen, first two are the 2 parrots in the spiritual world of the Lord Krishna and Srimad Radharani. Those 2 parrots appeared as Ramadas and Chaitanya Das as sons of Sivananda Sen. And the third one is this Paramananda Das or Puri Das. Then is after he became scholarly poet, he became Kavi Karnapur. So Mahaprabhu himself put this toe and he asked one time, can you chant? Can you explain the glories of the holy name? Can you chant? Then he didn't utter. Then he has been told by Sarup Damodar, his assistant, Sarup Damodar Goswami said, he's not chanting. He is not chanting because he doesn't want to reveal his initiate, he's chanting in his mind. Then he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can you glorify the Lord Krishna? How does he look? Then he's glorifying the holy name. Then he chanted a beautiful verse explaining the beauty of Lord Krishna, how Lord Krishna looks like. In the verse, I forget that verse, but let's see. All right. Lord Krishna exhibits his pastime of childhood, boyhood, and pre-youth. When he reaches pre-youth, he continues to exist eternally to perform his rasa dance and other pastimes. So, for conditioned soul, where Lord goes from various ages But he stops at the age of 16 and a half years old. He's eternally youthful. After 16 and a half, he doesn't grow old. He's ever youthful. Nitya Nava Yava Yaman. Is ever increasing. His bliss, his face changes. So that's why darshan of the Lord is not like us. Our face becomes when we take shower, maybe we maybe looks clean and neat. But Lord's face is always changing. His darshan is not the same. From morning to evening, every minute is changing because it's transcendental. It's not of the same quality as the living entity. So that is the position of the Supreme Lord. Nityam Nava Yavayaman. Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Mananta Rupam Madhyam Purana Purusham Nava Yavanancha Vedeshu Durlavam Adurlavam Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Somehow or the other I lost, but we'll figure out at the end what the Puridas verse, beautiful verse explaining how the Lord Krishna is wearing the blue earrings are in blue color and yellowish garments. Beautiful description describing. But anyway, let's get on to the Jhulan Yatra. We'll come to that. The swing festival was held in a special place in Vrindavan Dham, which was bordered by the line of desired trees of equal height with rounded trunks and branches whose ends intertwined, leaving a bare space in the middle. The line of the trees appeared like a wall of sapphire jewels. Besides the birds inhabiting those trees, the presiding deities of the forest had placed various items in the trees, including chamaras, silk cloth, long strands of pearls, jewels, fruits, and flowers. A square shaped golden stage stood in the center of the decorated tree. In another place also, I heard that this whole pastime is happening in Vrindavan and near Kadamba tree. Near Kadamba tree. Let's see if it comes in this book. In the middle of the stage was a jeweled kunja with four doors. Four Harichandana trees stood as pillars in the corners of the kunja. The intertwining of the trees' upper branches formed as overhead canopy. Yeah, the swing here means this Jhulan Yatra means Jhulan means swing festival. When does it start? Generally, it is in some places it is mentioned as 11 days or so. It starts on Pavitropana Ekadasi, starting with, and then ends at Balaram Purnima. 5 days. The Jhulan Yatra is 5 days, and especially in ISKCON. So on Janmashtami day also we do Jhulan, but mainly the Jhulan Yatra starts on Pavitropana Ekadasi with Pavitrotsam. That is starting, and the ending is Balaram Purnima, Rakhi Purnima. So and these Julans are, and it is called also, it is Shravan month. That's why it's called Savan. Shravan is also called Savan. Start with the Shravana Ekadasi to this Pavitropan Shravana Ekadasi to as per Shravana Purnima, as per the Rakhi Purnima. So these are within the Shravan month. That's why Shravan month became famous because very important festivals are there. And within this month, as per this under the Kadamba tree, this swing is being tied. As I think four swings are there, or one swing. Let's see. The intertwining of the trees' upper branches formed an overhead canopy. The swing hung on the golden ropes tied to the branches of the Harichandra trees. This arena appeared in the center. Each gopi, group leader, had a personal kunja with a swing in the four directions radiating from this central arena. The other arenas lined with pleasant Devataru trees radiated green all around and resonated with the singing of young cooing birds. They served as embodiments of festivity for the entire earth. One swing hung from each pair of the trees, and sitting platforms for the gopis encircled bases of the trees. Golden chains tied securely to the branches of the trees hung down in straight lines. In the center arena, four lines of swings belonging to different group leaders. That's what the four swings are there. Group leaders faced the four doors of the main kunja. The herds of the deer frolicked about joyfully in the flat because everybody wants to participate, everybody wants to see, not just human beings, but all living entities, because everyone has consciousness now. The hearts of everyone immediately flooded with joy just by seeing these areas, which were illuminated by Chintamani gems and by trees as brilliant as pearl, because who doesn't want to see? because everybody wants to dance, everybody wants to hear music, everybody wants to see beautiful decorations, beautiful fragrance, because all these are there in this festival in Jhulan Yatra. Not like here. If you go to Mayapur and Vrindavan, you will see to some extent. But in real Prakata Leela in Vrindavan, it is happening. You can understand what is opulence. You can only hear and understand what it could be. Uh, the hearts of everyone immediately flooded with joy just by seeing these areas, which were illuminated by Chintamani gems and by the trees as brilliant as coral. The top branches of the trees joined to form natural, pleasing green canopies. Gazing upward forever, one could not find the tops of these tall trees. The moonlight filtering through the canopies of the trees made small filaments of the light on the forest floor that looked like piles of sesame and rice. Thinking it food, the female deer tried to lick it. The four Kunja mandapas, raised platforms, were so similar that even the devatas could distinguish them only by their placement in different directions. In those areas, the Vanadevis had stretched a canopy in preparation for the swing festival. The scattered moonlight appeared like pearl belts taken from the desires of the directions, broken by a steady wind and broadcast on the earth out of respect for the land of Vrindavana. It appeared as if all the stars in the sky in great blaze left their position to come offer respect to the land of Vrindavana. Pieces of rustling silk cloth from the goddess of the sky formed the rooftops of the kunjas and hung down, quivering like tongs, trying to lick the dust of Vrindavana. The nets of the pearls hanging from the cloth were swinging gently in the soft breeze and pleasantly resounding like tinkling ankle bells. The forest gods had decorated the canopies with strings of various kinds of fruit and with fine scented chamaras resembling white lotuses from the sky, or swans flying up from the lake of the moonlight. The swing arenas carried the celestial scent of aromatic aguru fumes, drops of perfume squeezed from the kalpadruma trees. You can see sometimes you see in the turban the grapes, various fruits, various fresh flowers. Radha Madhav in Mayapur. Because this is how in Vrindavan, naturally everything you see that all the perfumes, all the cloth, it's so much, it is naturally so much opulent. Vrindavan, you can't even imagine. We are not able to see it, but this is the reality. And the piles of the camphor dust, which made lines of white smoke in the sky. Impatient and anxious to begin the swing festival, the Devatas and their wives, the Siddhas, Vidyadharas, Charanas, Kinnaras played their instrument as they arrived in Vrindavan in their innumerable celestial aeroplanes. In the jubilant mood, the gentle goddesses from different forests carrying various festival ingredients in their hands assembled in Vrindavana with friendship, kindness, and all good qualities. They finished decorating the swing arena and built an impressive entrance with the best garlands from all directions. Flocks of joyful birds came fluttering to broadcast the sweetness of the swing festival. They perched peacefully on the twigs and branches of the trees around the arena, eager to see the wonderful swing festival. The birds sang the glories of Krishna while their own hearts swung in delight. Forgetting all troubles and impelled by curiosity, varieties of deer gathered in the kunjas. They stood as motionless as figures in painting, appearing as if they had not been attracted to the forest by the sound of Krishna's flute. This pastime is happening after Krishna's flute was stolen. This that is also interesting pastime. Some other day we'll read. So that's why that pastime is mentioned a little bit here. Where is that? Yeah, but had not abandoned their household duties and not opposed their elders, the doe-eyed gopis, like touchstones for pleasurable pastimes, suddenly manifested out of nowhere, as if coming directly from the desire trees, colored with kunkuma. So they're dressed and ready for dancing. They wore fluffy cloths covered with fine silk dresses, extending to their ankles, glittering bodies, beautified. Their effulgent bodies were adorned with festive colored sashes and tinkling waist bells. The soft rounded shoulders of the gopis revealed flower bow of Cupid. The gopis had tucked flower arrows in their girdles and held flower bombs in their hands. In the arena artful, amusing swing pastime, the blissful gopis appeared like the incarnation of Rati, the goddess overseeing the festive love battles. Some gopis had flower pollen sachets hidden in their golden waist belts. Those bags of pollen seemed like the accumulated wealth of their skill in love making collected over a long period of time for purchasing the jewel of Krishna's mind. Some gopis held thousands of flasks filled with fragrant agru, musk, camphor, and sandalwood ointments. These delicate flasks would break open with breath. Others carried ingeniously designed syringes filled with flower essences, Kunkuma water, sandal water, musk water. The gopis looked like well armed soldiers ready for the battle of love, anxiously awaiting the arrival of Radhika Syam. To start the festival, each of the gopis' jewels among women were more beautiful than that of the soldiers of the Cupid, thought that she would swing first. The gopis entered the four areas around the main area while discussing this among themselves. Out of excitement, they made a din with their loud laughing that resembled the sweet cooing of the cuckoos. Krishna entered the swing arena with his left arm resting on Radha's shoulder, holding his flute. In his right hand, Krishna twirled a lotus flower, while his bangles chimed happily. A pleasing peacock feather topped his reddish turban that tilted attractively to one side. Krishna's elegant earring and ear lotuses swung in the breeze created by the bees circling his head. Fine cloth creased his limbs, lit by the jewels of his crown and bracelets. Krishna shone attractively with his pearl necklaces tinged red from the rays of his Kaustubha jewel. Light, delicate footsteps ascended his graceful yet playful gait. Jeweled anklets and bells adorned his lotus feet. Krishna, his splendid lips shining, appeared somewhat drowsy from chewing betel nut, yet his effulgence easily defeated the combined radiance of all the jewels adorning the ladies in the heaven. Krishna's effulgence took the shape of a jewel mace to announce his entrance into the bower of jewel trees. As Krishna and his servants ascended the dais surrounding the swing, the birds screeched, "Victory, victory!" The trees and creepers felt such rapture that their limbs erupted with teeny beams, and honey streamed down like a torrent of tears. With the peacocks, when the peacocks stared at Radha and Krishna, they thought they were seeing dark rain clouds flashing lightning. Though knowing Radha and Krishna from before, due to their unprecedented love, the peacocks madly cried out, "Who are these two persons?" Different celestial denizens joined Krishna and the gopis to celebrate their Jhulan Leela. In attendance, there were charming charanas, male and female kimpurushas, and the wives of siddhas being expertly on mandala and the panava drums with their delicate hands. The spotless heavenly damsels from Swarga and the apsaras directed by Urosi held chamaras as radiant as waves in the Mandakini river. They showered fragrant flowers from the Nanda Kanana gardens. This is the heavenly planets. Beautiful gardens. That's where Lord Krishna went and plugged the Parijata plant whole tree, brought it to Dwaraka for Satyabhama, Nanda Kanana garden, which glittered like stars as they fell through the sky. In this atmosphere, Krishna mounted a regal crest jewel sitting on the cotton seat. The cloth covering the seat was whiter than the foam that appeared during the churning of the milk ocean. Shining pillows also adorned the beautiful seat. Seeing that amazingly wonderful swing purified the vision and empowered the eyes to see other objects in a fresher way. While the Devatas played sweet music, Mukunda and Radha marveled at the intricate workmanship of the jeweled lamps illuminating the swing. This is how much all the devotees, gopis, and Purnamasi, Vrunda Devi, all of them together as arrange everything. All these are arrangements for Radha and Krishna's pleasure. Obviously, they also get the pleasure. Right? If we are offering various items, 500,000, hundreds and thousands of items, then who's going to eat? Lord Krishna, by his glance itself, he eats, but still everything is there for us to honor it after that. So we are also getting pleasure. So same way. So whatever we offer, we are also get those many, even more more pleasure we get when we offer with love. And so that's what is happening with these gopis of Vrindavan, Tulsi Maharani, Vrindadevi, all the associate, whoever is serving, offering their heart and everything in the service of Radha and Krishna, they are also getting the intense bliss. It cannot be explained. So but that's why we can see these beautiful arrangements, how much they made. So no sleep. So day and night serving Radha and Krishna. That is their endeavor every day. Uh, Trembling out of ecstatic love, Radhika and her friends sat beside Krishna, who rested his left arm on Radhika's shoulder. And the Lord ascended the exquisite swing and displayed his sweet beauty, which defeated the fickle currents of a river of the nectarian beauty. The Devatas and their wives lost all composure. And as the ardent desire of the Devata's heart to get closer view of the divine couple moved out of their hearts to express itself, it choked their throats. With that hope, they left the middle sky and descended to the more favorable lower bowers of the sky. Because sometimes you cannot see the Yatra on many festivals because too many people. You can't see closer look. So that's what is happening here also with even the demigods. Forget about us. When lotus-eyed Chandravali and other gopi group leaders beheld the especially intimate feature of Krishna sitting upon the swing, their eyes sparkled with blissful love. The gopis, adorned with colorful makeup and tinkling bells, mounted their respective swings and loudly sang sweet songs in appropriate tempo. Chandravali and her group sat facing Murari. Bhadra and her associates sat on his right. Syama and her followers on the left, and Danya and her assistant sat behind Murari, crowding the four outer yards. Other joy-filled gopis sang melodious songs with the finest artistic skill. Their effulgent complexions conquered a garden of golden creepers. None of these gopis have any envious jealousy. Even if at all if the jealousy is there, it's transcendental. To give great pleasure to Lord Krishna. That is Radha and Krishna. To give pleasure. If at all if there is a competition. It is only for that purpose. It isn't there. Otherwise, it is not anything material in the gopis of hearts. As they softly vibrated, they are not pulling like the crabs. If one crab goes up, other crabs pull down. That's not the mentality in the spiritual world. That is only in the material world. And that mentality, if one goes up, the others pull them down. Oh, why you should go up? I should also get it. Why you should enjoy? I should also enjoy. This mentality is there in the material world, but it is not the case in the spiritual world. As they softly vibrated their sovereign seven-stringed venas, the gopis produced pleasing ambrosial music of unequaled excellence. Holding on with one hand and swinging their bodies, the gopis moved gaily on the swings as the swarms of bees followed them. With their free hand, the gopis took fistful of powder from the bags tucked in their belts and forcibly threw it into the air with their bangles jingled along, scattered here and there by the wind of the colored powder spread a red blue throughout the sky, like a screen of fresh Java flowers. I don't know, here it's available Java, maybe in Hawaii. The Devatas, anguished by the obstruction in seeing Krishna's pastime, repeatedly showered flowers to remove a recurring screen of dust. It appeared the clouds of dripped flower nectar. As the manjaris gradually pushed the swings, Vrinda, so everybody is getting pleasure. Whoever is involved, whether spectator or directly serving, directly assisting, or close by or distant, doesn't matter. Every one of them has great pleasure. So that is the beauty of this festival. Whoever is, but just like we did the other day, we took Radha and Krishna in possession. How much great bliss those who have participated in that festival. Well, when we serve, when we see, when we observe, that's why Shastra tells. When our Lord is taken out in the possession, we have to go. Otherwise, it is also an offense. If you don't go when the Lord is taken on a possession, we are supposed to follow. We are supposed to follow the possession and go around. That is the Shastra injunction. So it is for our purpose. Lord doesn't need to go anywhere. Lord doesn't need to perform any of these festivals. It is only for our purpose. He wants to give us the pleasure. He wants to give us the medicine to cure our disease, cure our contamination, dirtiness, unhappiness, remove our miseries, unhappiness, everything from our heart. That is the Lord Krishna's job, Sadhu's job. That's why they are performing this. As the As the Manjaris gracefully pushed the swings, Vrunda and others shouted Jai Jai, Jai Ho, Jai Ho. While blissfully absorbed in swinging, Radha and Krishna hurled colored powders on the gopis, and the Chandravali and other Sakis returned the valley with their powders. Radha and Krishna revealed a unique state of fresh beauty. As the powders thrown on Krishna blew away in the wind, the gopis filled their reddened hands and sandalwood powder and their other cracking to bomb Krishna again. Radha's friends, who were experts in shooting pichukaris full of sweet-smelling colored water, assembled around the swing of Radha and Krishna. Suddenly, Chandravali and her Sakis attacked Radha and Krishna with pitcheries full of color. With their jeweled pitcheries loaded with scenes of glittering like the moon, Radhika's Sakis counterattacked Chandravali's and her group with fountain spray of it. This is all because of competition. If there is no competition, where is there fun? This is all because of it's transcendental. Sometimes in the office, also sometimes in the temple, also as devotees for book distribution or various things, competition. This is all transcendental. We should take it everything in a positive spirit, not caught up by some minor things. So it is mainly to give relishment, to give pleasure to Prabhupada, Guru and Krishna. We will also get pleasure. If you are bogged down by small things, then we can get pleasure actually. So that's why we have to see the higher purpose. As here we can see that both Chandravali group is opposite, but they are actually giving pleasure to Krishna with competition. So aimed mainly at Chandravali, that spray of liquid sand did not even once touch the bodies of Radha and Krishna. Gathering their forces together, they are very strong. Radha's party, especially Lalita and Vishaka's party, is much more stronger in devotion. So gathering their forces, Radhika's Sakis who were to win the battle shouted, I am winning, I am winning. In the pandemonium, a few more gopis picked up pitcheries and wildly squirted other gopis in the excitement to win. Some bottles of liquid fell and broke, releasing thick streams of agaru and sandalwood scented liquid over the ground. When the flower bombs being forcibly thrown from all directions came too close to the son of the king of Vrindavana, the gopis deflected them. If, however, any bomb happened to hit the dark blue body of Krishna, Radhika happily wiped it off with her soft hand moistened from perspiration. Feeling disturbed, Krishna lost his composure upon seeing the condition of the gopis. He was afflicted with the pride and apprehension. To increase the pleasure of the doe-eyed gopis who gazed at him with shy, downcast eyes like chakoris, agitated by the moon, Krishna abandoned all rules of formal conduct and followed the whims of Cupid, witty, humorous, and controlled by his consorts. Because that's what Lord wants to. Lord likes, even if the chastisement coming from Satyabhama, chastisement coming as per more than the queens of Dwarka, especially from the gopis, Lord accepts all those because they're all out of love. Out of love, they are all performing that. But if anybody offering prayers, Lord may not be responding. He's not obligated. But it's because one is doing with great love, intensity and love, then Lord is he accepts, even if it is a chastisement. Sometimes Pilamangal Thakur, sometimes great acharyas used to, like Sanatana Goswami, sometimes great acharya used to run with a stick, like Gauridas Pandit, other they were reading that he came went with the stick. Why do you run away from this place? So that's why even now it is like Banku Hari temple because Lord has run away one time. So that's why they open and close very quickly because they don't want Lord to run away with somebody else. If some intense devotee comes and he sees that the Lord runs with him, then what will happen to us? So that's why they open and close. Same thing happens here. Gaur Gadadhar temple, Gaur Nityananda or Gaur Gadadhar temple in this place where Gauridas Pandit's deities are there in Bengal. So they are also the same thing they do, open and close. They will not keep it open for more than a minute. So shorter duration because same because the Lord may run away. So that is the beauty of this. Intensity is more. So Lord accepts. Wherever the Hriday Chaitanya, that Chaitanya Das was the disciple of Gauridas Pandit, he was so intense, so much intensely absorbed in serving Radha and Krishna, Gaurnitai. Then Lord has run away with him. And when Gauridas Pandit coming with great anger, that why Lord run away, and why did you go? Then immediately entered into the heart of Chaitanya Das. Then he could understand, Gauridas Pandit could understand. That means he can understand what absorption here. He could see Lord entering into the heart of Chaitanya Das, his disciple. Then he named, now no more Chaitanya Das, you are Hridaya Chaitanya. From today onwards, you are such a great devotee, the Lord entered into your heart. So That is the beauty. This is all transcendental pastimes. How much intensity one must have. So that is in intensity we can understand from these pastimes. I think we're almost done. Let's finish this up. I know it's taking more time, but this is but a very interesting and wonderful pastimes. We should hear, understand the essence behind it. Radhika, to increase the pleasure of the two-eyed gopis who gazed at him with side, downcast eyes like chakoris agitated by the moon, Krishna abandoned all the rules, eager to play holy with him. The humorous controlled by his consort, the brothers of Balarama, rolling his eyes in desire. Now Balarama is coming into picture. Balram's gopis. Both Krishna has gopis, his own gopis. Balaram also has his own gopis. He is also performing Rasa. Balaram also is performing Rasa with his own gopis. Now we'll see further. The competition goes. Skillful at sport, Hari smashed the gopis in the southern direction with a deluge of colors. While moving on their swings, firing red powder at Krishna, the beautiful gopis appeared as victory flags of cleverness. Then Krishna subdued the playful, blissful girls on the northern side. Next, he defeated the gopis and their associates in the western direction, who kept swinging the whole time while strongly desiring the pastimes of enjoyment. Their eyes and bodies defeated the beauty of lakes full of lotus flowers. Then he conquered the elegant, excited women on the eastern direction, eastern side, the four direction, four swings are there. So that's what is being described here. Who were particularly attractive, being seated on the swings directly opposite him while swinging and throwing ruby red powder with his lotus hand. Krishna shared a seat with Radhika, who possesses the limit of all excellent qualities. After winning the battle of Holi, Krishna, smiling brilliantly, desired to please the different groups of swinging gopis. Starting in the eastern direction, he faced each group and dexterously moved his swing in two different directions. When Krishna swung east or west, he moved the swing directly towards the gopis in those directions. When he swung to the north or south, those gopis sat next to him in the joy of such counter swinging. Krishna's necklaces, forest garlands, shining earrings all joined in the festival. Sri Krishna enacts two types of eternal pastimes, manifest and unmanifest. With the description of Radha and Krishna's swing festival, I, Kavi Karnapur, this is the son of Sivananda, same third son. Puridas Paramanandas is another name. He has written many books, especially three important books. Ananda Vrindavan Champu, which we are reading from, and then also Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's interesting, wonderful drama. He explained pastime in terms of drama. We should perform drama on that basis also. Very wonderful. That is another book. The other book is Gaura Gandodaya Deepika, where it explains who is who. Who is this person appearing in Krishna Leela? What was his position, name in the Krishna Leela, in Gaur Leela? All the details of these personalities. So these three are prominent books. Many other books, that's why it's called Kavi Karnapur. That name was given. Yeah. He is telling himself, which parallels the Vrindavan pastimes of the Lord described in Srimad Bhagavatam. I have not described the Bhagavatam chapters about the gopis' songs in separation, the killing of Arishta or Kesi, the coming of Akrura, the entering of arena of Kamsa, because I consider them unsuitable to the sweet mood of Madhurya Ras. Because Vrindavan Ras is different. I haven't read, I thought I will describe, but because Lord Krishna is appearing simultaneously, there is a little bit contradictions, confusions that has to be answered. When Lord Krishna was appeared in both places, Devaki and Vasudev's womb, and also Nanda Yashoda, that is one. That itself is a little confusion. The other confusion is whether Krishna appeared in the womb, he was there 9 months, 10 months, or is he not? That is another confusion. The other confusion is that Lord Krishna is there in Vrindavan, but he never leaves Vrindavan. That is another confusion. Because as I was telling, he left Vrindavan, but at the same time he is not leaving. How is it? So these also has to be understood. It's a very interesting details we need to understand. Some other day we'll read because the time is not. Let's finish this pastime. The confidential pastimes of Krishna, the embodiment of transcendental wonder, are eternal by nature and constantly present in these manifest and unmanifest forms. So those confusions are removed by this understanding of manifest, unmanifest, prakata and aprakata. What we can see, what we can. Like if you go to Vrindavan now, we cannot see what's happening in the every day. Now also pastimes are happening, but we can't see. That is aprakata. It is not manifest to us. So that is aprakata. Prakata means where we can see in Bhoma Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan, the earthly pastimes and also the spiritual world pastimes. Man, what is the proof that Krishna's transcendental abode of Vrindavana exists eternally, though invisible to the material light. In answer to this, a query from Srimad Bhagavatam, Jayati Jayati Nivaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parishat Swair Dorbhe Asyam Adharmam Stira Chara Charavarjuna Gnai Susmita Sri Mukena Rajapura Vanitanam Vardayan Kama Devam. Lord Sri Krishna is he who is known as Jaranivas, the ultimate resort of all living entities. His great Jaranivas Prabhu, great devotee of Prabhupada. Who is also known as Devaki Nandana, Yashoda Anandam, the son of Devaki and Yashoda. He is the guide of the Yadu dynasty. And with his mighty arms, he kills everything inauspicious as well as every man who is impious. By his presence, he destroys all things inauspicious for all living entities, moving and his blissful smiling face always increases the gopis, desires of gopis of Vrindavan. May he be all glorious and happy. The eternal nature of Krishna's pastime is established by using the present tense in Bhagavatam verse quoted above, which means it is there, it happened. It should be understood that the eternality of Krishna's pastimes is preserved by his inconceivable energy, Achinta Shakti. This spiritual energy produces both manifest and unmanifest abodes. One cannot say that Krishna, who possesses inconceivable energy, does not have the power to maintain eternal place of manifest and unmanifest pastimes. So simultaneously it can happen because it is happening. That is also vibhuti. The pastimes are happening even now, today, right now, when we are speaking also. Krishna's pastime, because there are innumerable universes. Some place it is in day, some place in night time, within day, so many hours, so many minutes. Time is changing in so many thousands of universes. Because in some way, in some universe or other, Krishna is performing his pastimes. Because different days of Brahma is going on in different universes. So that's why these eternal in spiritual world always going on. That is also there. So that's why it is inconceivable by Swarup Siddhi, how much opulence is there. There are millions of universes, and a particular pastime ends in one universe simultaneously manifests in another. If they do not start in a particular universe, what is the question of disappearing? According to this method, the manifest pastimes remain eternally, always situated at some particular place. It is just like the sun, seemingly moving through the days and nights and appearing sequentially in all the seven continents. Right? And sun appears. Sun doesn't mean appearing, disappearing, sun is not there. Sun is always there. We cannot see. In a particular place, we cannot see. Right now, it is night. That doesn't mean sun is not there. Sun is always there. It's only. But he's just not manifest to us right now. So, same way, that is what is giving conclusion. Although a pastime seems to disappear in one universe, it actually continues to exist there in unlimited, unmanifest forms. It reveals itself through different characteristics as described in Sanatana Goswami Brahad Bhagavatamrita. How could one Krishna simultaneously enter different temples to marry each of the 16,000 women along with the inhabitants of Dwarka? Because he expanded himself those many times. Krishna can do that. We cannot do that. That's why his opulence are unlimited. That's why he's telling in this today's verse that only small teeny portion I could explain this 30, 20 plus verses. Because I can't explain even the whole Bhagavad Gita I can speak, but still I cannot explain. My opulences, it is limitless. So, here further, how could one Krishna simultaneously enter different temples to marry each of 16,000 women along with the inhabitants of Dwarka and also manifest himself in many forms along with forms of all his elders such as Vasudeva, just as Krishna, without any assistance from his expansions, manifested many forms of himself and his associate in Dwarka? Could he not also manifest such things in Vrindavana? The Srimad Bhagavatam conclusively proves that Krishna is full of unlimited powers. Though he stays eternally in Vrindavan unmanifest, he goes off to Mathura. In his unmanifest form, Krishna stays in Vrindavan and eternally performs pastimes with gopis. Krishna also born in separation from the gopis in his manifest form. It is said, therefore, that nothing is impossible or astonishing for the Supreme Person, Yashodanandan, who is full of unlimited powers and beyond all conception. If Krishna is Devaki Nandan, showered, if Krishna has Devaki Nandan showered such greatness in marrying all the princes, could he not do much more as Yashodananda? See, Devaki Nandan is beautiful because Vrindavan is much more opulent. In externally, we may see that okay, it is not a modern town. That is different. So now today it's modern town, but it is different because pastime it requires certain characteristics, certain way. So that's why Vrindavan is always like that in a different mood. but it's much more opulent than Dwarka and Mathura is nothing compared to Vrindavan. It's a highly opulent. You cannot even understand how much opulent it is in every way, pretty much. Everything is there. Everything is manifest because whole Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual world manifests. Radharani always said that I cannot come unless Giriraj Govardhan is there, unless and the Yamuna is there, all these things has to be there. The Lord said, don't worry, everything is going to be manifested. So that's the Lord is taking. So the whole the spiritual world, all the associates and everything, all the places, everything will manifest wherever Lord is there, especially Lord Krishna, with full and full, not incomplete, full potencies. So that's why we can see here. In this way, you can understand this the most significant and sweet pastimes of this Jhulan Yatra. Lord Krishna is performing, is giving time, is giving, is exchanging of love with all the gopis, right wing group or left wing group. So they all have different emotions. Some of them are angry, some of them are means angry again giving pleasure because it is not same rasa. Everyone will not have same rasa. Within the same rasa, even the parakeras, but still they have different moods each other. You look at Shri Radha Madhav, Ashtasakis in Mayapur, more so than in few other places we have the Ashtasakis, like in Tirupati also we have Iskan Tirupati has Ashtasakis, Radha Govinda with Ashtasakis, but Mayapur is prominent. If you observe, there each of the gopis, which are eight of them, are there on the altar. They all look different. They are all in different mood. Their service is in different mood. Their faces, their expressions, their what they are carrying, what they are offering, everything is different, unique. Every one of them is unique in their exchange of love because living entity is unique. Independent nature is there in offering their own service in own mellows. So that's why Lord Krishna tastes intense, immense pleasure. He wants to exchange billions of gopis. He exchanging rasa, not 1 or 2,000. It's it is so intimate pastimes. This Jhulan Yatra is so intimate. It's very difficult. We have to be there. You have to be there. At least if you missed it, be there on Janmashtami day. There will be Jhulan. But obviously we cannot take out. But this Sunday we are taking out the Lord again on possession. Don't miss it. It is Surya Vahan, part of Brahmotsavam. Sunday evening, we will be taking, I think, 5:30 to 6:30 or so. We will be taking out the Sri Radha Samchandra again. So be there. You will understand at least little glimpse you can get when you are there in this pastime. Then take something, offer something. It is for our pleasure. Just like you go on yatra, you go on vacation. If no food is there, morning to evening, you're running, walking, and you want to eat, yes. You want to drink something, yes. So then same thing. And the Lord is there, especially now. Today is very hot day. Tomorrow I don't know how it is. So we have to think all these things. If we want to see, obviously, we want to also get pleasure, but we also have to see. Ideally, we should give pleasure to them. We will also get pleasure. That Krishna will take care. That means we should see, what I can offer when they are tired, when they are it's too hot. What I can offer, a drink maybe, a nice fruit drink or whatever. You can think in your own mellows of love and then offer, and Lord will accept that. So that's what we have to do. These festivals are for us to exchange in our own way. Obviously, we cannot do at the level of Sri Prabhupada or the gopis, but at least we can do at our whatever level of consciousness we have, something we can do, and then that gradually can uplift us and change our consciousness because Krishna is there to accept and exchange and increase our love and detach ourselves from our unwanted things in our heart. If you are ready, then he will also do that, his part. But if you are not ready, then how can he cannot force us. So that is the significance of today's Jhulan Yatra of the opulence Krishna is mentioning. And these verses of real opulence. This is what the real opulence. The context of Bhagavad Gita is at little bit lower level, but we took it to the highest level from the Acharya's commentaries. We'll stop here. Already 8:30, very late. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gopal ki jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.